Okay, similar figures is very much solving proportions yet, okay, but we're looking at shapes. So a little bit of geometry. We're going to be able to determine whether figures are similar and find the missing dimensions in similar figures. You guys, those of you at home, you may want to open up the notes that are on Canvas and follow along with those notes because that might be easier than trying to write everything, okay? When we're dealing with a lot of shapes, it's hard to draw that and write all of that, okay? So remember, those of you at home, I do have the notes posted on Canvas for you. So if you want to go onto Canvas and follow along with that, you could totally do that. All right. So a bunch of vocab we have to know first. And trust me, you're going to see this vocab on your homework. Okay? So nobody can say, I don't know what to type in for those words because they're in your notes, you guys. And the notes are posted on Canvas. So those of you at home going, but if I don't write this down, the notes are on Canvas. Okay? Similar figures. Two figures that have the blank shape, but not necessarily the blank size. Okay? So they have the same shape, but not necessarily the same size. Okay, so in order for two figures to be similar, they have to have the same exact shape, but not necessarily the same size. Okay? As people, we are kind of similar. We kind of have the same shape, right? We have 2 eyes, nose, mouth, ears. All of those 5 fingers, or 10 fingers, sorry. 5 on each hand. Toes, legs, arms. But we're not all necessarily the same size. Some of us are shorter, taller. Okay? So we are similar. Okay? Similar does not mean you're identical. Okay? We are going to look at shapes like triangles, rectangles. They are similar, okay? Two figures are similar if, you need to fill in these blanks, okay? If the lengths of corresponding, that's a big word. Spell it correctly too. Corresponding, C-O-R-R-E-S. P-O-N-D-I-N-G. The lengths of corresponding sides are proportional. Okay? That just means if one side is 5 and another side is 10, you multiply by 2 to get there. That means if one of the sides is 6, another side has to be 12. Everything is a multiple. Okay? You can multiply or divide to get the numbers on the other figure. And the second one, the corresponding angles have equal measures. Okay, the corresponding angles have equal measures. Does anybody know what corresponding means? Okay, I'm going to say my right hand would correspond to your right hand. My left hand would correspond to your left hand. Are they kind of the same or matching? Okay, so maybe write this down. Corresponding means matching, like it matches up with. Okay, so when you hear that word corresponding, I know it's a big word. We're not used to using big words because some of us are very simple, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boys are
Yeah, boys are simple apparently. Okay, so I know corresponding might be out of your language ability right now, but you're going to try. Okay, it just means matching. You're matching things up. Okay? Questions there? Okay, this vocab is going to show up on your homework, just so you know. Okay, so here are two similar figures. Okay, these two triangles are similar. Okay, now I know they're similar because of this symbol right here. Okay, that little squiggly line means is similar to. So triangle ABC is similar to triangle EFG. Okay, in math, we use a lot of shorthand writing, so we don't have to write everything because we like to be simple. Okay, we don't want to write all those words. Our hands may fall off. It's hard, right?
Yeah.
We don't want to write too much. Okay, so we just use a squiggly line instead of writing is similar to. But that does require that you remember that that means is similar to. Okay, and then this double-sided arrow means corresponds to. Okay, so first of all, it says list all the corresponding sides. Okay, now I'm going to use colors to kind of show which sides are going together. Okay, so let's start with this side. AB. Okay, write this in your notes. AB. Right, you're following along. You have, those of you at home, make sure you're following along, whether you're looking on Canvas or writing some of this down. Those of you here, you have your notes packet in front of you. And then we're going to put the double-sided arrow. AB corresponds to which side on the other triangle? Go ahead, Red.
F and E.
Okay, now we have to be careful. Is it FE or EF?
F-E. E-F.
Okay, here's how I know it, that it's supposed to be EF. Okay, because A is 53 degrees. So I want to start with the point that has 53 degrees by it. So that's E to F. Okay, so AB corresponds to EF. Okay, let's go with BC corresponds to which side in the other triangle? BC corresponds to what? Matthew? FG, absolutely. Okay, the triangle's turned on its side. Remember, I said you have to look at B as 37 degrees? So that's where I need to start. There's my 37 degree F, and I'm going to the right angle. So FG. So BC corresponds to FG. Okay, then we have one more side, and that I'm going to go AC corresponds to which side? Obviously, there's only one option left, but do I put GE or EG?
G-E.
EG. EG.
Why EG? Remember, I started with A, which is the 53 degree angle. So on the other triangle, I need to start with the 53 degree angle. I need to start at that point. So EG. Okay, those are our corresponding sides. They match up with each other. Okay, then we're going to list all the corresponding angles. So we need to list the matching angles. Now to do this, we're going to use a symbol called an angle symbol. So angle A. Let's start with that. My board doesn't want to write. Try this again. Angle A corresponds to, okay, I'm going to erase the colors I have on here. I'm looking at angle A matches up with which angle from the other triangle? Austin.
Angle E.
Angle E. They're both 53 degrees. So angle A corresponds to angle E. Okay. Angle B corresponds to, angle B is 37 degrees, so that corresponds to what? B matches up with, Matthew? F. So angle B corresponds to angle F. And then the last one, angle C is a right angle, that has to match up with angle G. Angle C corresponds to angle G. Questions there? Okay, so these are similar because corresponding angles are equal. Okay, they're equal to each other. Every angle matches up, they're equal, and corresponding sides are proportional. So if we look at the sides, A, B, and EF, 60 and 30, 60 divided by 2 is 30. Does that work with all the other sides? 36 divided by 2 is 18, and 48 divided by 2 is 24. So they're proportional because I can take all the sides from the first triangle and just divide them by 2 and get the sides in the second triangle. Okay? So let's look at these rectangles. Which rectangles are similar? Do they all have equal angles? Do all three rectangles have the same angle measures? Some of you are shaking your head no. Think about that again. What are the angle measures in rectangles? 90, 90, 90, 90, right? They're 4 90-degree angles. So all of the angles are the same. So then we have to look at which two rectangles have corresponding sides that are proportional. Which do you think? Zachary said J and K. Do you agree with him? J, K. J and K are similar figures. Okay, because 1, all the angles are the same. And 10, try that again. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 4 divided by 2 is 2. That would not work on the other one. If I put 10 over 12 and 4 over 5, those are not equal. Okay, they're not proportional. But 10 over 5 and 4 over 2 are proportional. Okay, so J and K are similar figures. Questions there? Okay, flip to the back side of your notes page. Go to the next one. Okay, how about these triangles? Which triangles are similar? We have triangle A, triangle B, and triangle C. Okay, so those of you that have your notes packet in front of you, you're on page 10 of your notes packet, page 10. Which triangles are similar? Which one can you eliminate right away? Savannah?
B?
Why?
Because it's 70 and 70.
Yeah. So remember, we said in similar figures, the angles have to be the same. B has different angles, right? It has 70, 70, and 40 instead of 82, 65, and 33. So that means the similar triangles are A and C. That has to be it. We can check the sides and see if they're proportional. Does it work? 8 times 2 is 16. 13 times 2 is 26. And 7 times 2 is 14. So they are all proportional. Okay, the corresponding sides are in proportion with each other. Questions there? Okay, then we're going to look at some word problems. And when we're looking at these word problems, it's going to be super helpful for us to draw a picture of the problem. Okay? And drawing the pictures is not hard. It's like rectangles and triangles. Okay, I think you can all draw rectangles and triangles. Maybe. And they don't even have to look real nice. This problem says you have a picture that's 10 inches tall and 14 inches wide. Okay, so pictures are typically rectangles. So I'm going to draw a rectangle. And I'm going to label it 10 inches tall and 14 inches wide. This is tall, this is wide. Okay, those of you at home, you might want to draw this in your notebook. Okay, to be scaled to 1.5 inches tall to be displayed on a web page. How wide should the picture be on the web page for the two pictures to be similar? Now, it's important, if you're going to shrink down a picture, you have to shrink it down proportionally, right? What happens if you only shrink the height of pictures? Think about that. You only shrink the height. Everybody in the picture gets really short and fat. Right? Or if you only shrink the width, everybody in the picture looks really tall and skinny. And maybe shrink the width. I'd rather look tall and skinny than short and fat. But either way, you look goofy.
It's a 50.
Okay? Either way, it doesn't look right. So we're going to shrink the height. So the picture is going to become smaller, and it's going to be 1.5 inches tall. We don't know how wide it's going to be yet. That's where our X is. Okay, now, when we're doing these problems, you guys, I like to label them as picture A and picture B. I'm going to label them as A and B, and here's why. When we're trying to set up and solve a proportion, I'm comparing picture A to picture B. It's going to make it really easy to compare A to B. Okay, we can match up our sides then. So I'm going to pick a side on A, 10 inches. Okay, that matches up with which side on B? Which side does that match up with on B? These two sides are corresponding. So we're going to put 10 inches over 1.5 inches. And then we have the other set of sides is 14 inches matches up with the S. Okay, once you have that set up, now let's just solve it. Grab your calculator, solve the proportion. Remember, when we're solving a proportion, you multiply the two numbers on the diagonal, so 1.5 times 14, which is 21, and then divide by 10. So 21 divided by 10, the answer is 2.1 inches wide. So the picture, if it was going to be proportional, so the people in the picture don't look short and fat or tall and skinny, so they look normal, would have to be 2.1 inches wide. Okay, questions there? Okay, let's try another one. Okay, this time we have a painting 40 inches long and 56 inches wide is to be scaled to 10 inches long to be displayed on a poster. How wide should the painting be on the poster for the two pictures to be similar? Okay, so I'm going to draw this again. We have, it's 40 inches long and 50 inches wide. Does it really matter which side I put the numbers on? No, it doesn't. You just have to be consistent. So 40 inches long, I'm going to put long on that side, and 56 inches wide. Okay, it's going to be scaled, so it's going to be shrunk down. So it's going to be a smaller rectangle. And it's going to be 10 inches long. Where should the 10 go? Should it go on the side or the bottom? Savannah?
On the side.
On the side, because it's 10 inches long, and I put long on the side. So 10 inches long. We're trying to figure out the width. Okay, and again, I'm going to label these A and B. So we're comparing A to B. Okay, so pick a side on A, 40 inches, matches up with the 10 on B. So you have 40 over 10. Pick a side on A, 56 inches matches up with the X. So 56 inches over X. Okay, once you have it set up, now it's just using your calculator to solve it. So 10 times 56, multiply the two numbers on the diagonal, and then divide by 40. And you get 14 inches wide. So there's our answer. Questions there? Okay, let's do one that deals with triangles. Okay, here we have a t-shirt design includes an isosceles triangle. You guys remember what an isosceles triangle is? No? Anybody at home remember what an isosceles triangle is? Remember there are three different types of triangles. You have an equilateral triangle. All sides are the same. A scalene triangle. All sides are different. And an isosceles triangle. Two sides are the same. Okay? An isosceles triangle means two of the side lengths are identical. Okay? And it has side lengths 4.5 inches, 4.5 inches, and 6 inches. So, we have this isosceles triangle. And I'm going to label it 4.5, 4.5, and 6. Okay, I'm going to label this triangle A. And it says an advertisement shows an enlarged version of the triangle. So it gets bigger. Okay, with two sides that are each 3 feet long. What's the length of the third side? So we have this bigger triangle. Where should the 3 feet go? Which sides does that go on? It has two sides that are 3 feet, so that has to match up with the 4.5. So 3 feet, 3 feet. It says, what's the length of the third side? So we're going to put X on the bottom. I'm going to label that triangle B. Okay, now everybody listen to this. It does not matter that one triangle is in inches and the other is in feet. That's okay. Okay. What we can't have is two sides that are inches and one side that's feet. Okay, the whole triangle needs to be inches, the other whole triangle is feet. So when we get our final answer, our answer is going to be feet. We don't have to make any conversions, look. Okay, so we are comparing triangle A to triangle B. So pick a side on A. Does it matter which side I pick? Not really, we can pick any side. I'm going to pick the bottom side. Oops. I'm going to pick the bottom. 6. The 6 inches matches up with which side on B? What does the 6 match up with? Yeah, the X. Okay. The 6 matches up with the X. So 6 inches over X feet. That's okay that the labels are different. Okay, then we pick another side on A, 4.5 inches, matches up with 3 feet. Okay, now you're going to use your calculator and solve that. Multiply the two numbers on the diagonal. 6 times 3 is 18. Divide by the third number. And you get 4 feet as your answer. So the final side is 4 feet long. Okay, questions there? All right, we're going to stop at that for the notes. Okay, I want everybody